Guys, let me try to talk about JWT. What is mean by JWT? JSON Web Token. So generally, when we are trying to speak about JWT, guys, the generally we have two types of authentications. One is stateful authentication and stateless authentication. What it means by stateful authentication? Generally, I think first of all, let's try to recollect, guys. Let me try to talk in the basic points. Here, this is my server, and this is my Java application. Java application is interacting with any client. Otherwise, a client interacting with a server, and server giving a response to a client. Then what we can try to call this type of authentication? This type, once the client sends a request, it means that stateless, right? Stateless mechanism, stateless protocol. Whenever a client sends a request to a server and server gives a response back to a client, this type of operation we can try to call as a stateless. Yes or no? Right. The stateless. Now, HTTP is a stateless protocol. To maintain the state between the resources, what type of operations we try to perform in the server level, guys? Session management technique. To maintain the state between the resources, to maintain the state between the resources. So to maintain the state between the resources, we can use what? We can use stateless, right? Okay. Stateful session management techniques. Management techniques like this. So I can say cookies and HTTP session interface. You remember, right? Session servlets. So using this of the concepts, we can try to maintain the state between the resources. We can say stateful mechanism to maintain the state to maintain the state between the resources. We can try to use session management techniques. How can we make your request is stateful? How can we make a request is stateful? No doubt using session management techniques. Okay. Next, stateless authentication, guys. One more thing is stateless authentication. What it means by stateless authentication? It will never create a memory at server side. For a client authentication, one unique number is generated called a token. Okay, before going to talk about the token, sir, one thing. This is my application, and is my book my show, guys. Is my book my show. Book my show. Book my show. Then a client gives a request. A client gives a request. Client gives a request. Then what will happen? And client, whenever giving a request, no doubt username and password will send, right? Client username and password will be sent to here. Then once username and password is authenticated, then the user exists. Then what we do that we try to pay. Do the payment, right? So from the book my show, we will try to integrate. We will try to interact with payment gateway. So assume that maybe I want to pay the payment through online banking. So assume that this is my ICICI server, bank server. So from here, from here, we will interact with this bank, and whenever we interacting with a bank, then here username and password if authenticated, immediately one token will be generated. One token will be generated. Token will be generated. Token will be generated. So now, along with the username and password, along with this token, then request goes to bank server. In bank server, then it will check that username and user and password is authenticated. Username and password along with the token. If it is authenticated, then payment will be happen here. Once the payment is completed, then again response comes back to here. That's it. Then we will try to check that the token also will be expired, sir. The token also will be expired. Then response comes to here. That's it. Once it comes to response, no doubt, immediately token will be expired. Whenever you're sending a request, then we'll try to set the time period, maybe 15 seconds, maybe 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. Like this, we try to specify the time period. The token will be exist up to 15 minutes or 15 seconds or 30 seconds like this. And before the 30 seconds or 25 seconds, then payment should be complete. Payment processing should be complete. Once the processing is completed, the response comes back to a application back. So I can say one server to another server, one application to another application, one application to another application. Whenever you are trying to interacting, once we try to interact, what we can do that? What we can try to say that stateless authentication. What we can try to call stateless authentication. I can say web service authentication, guys. We can try to call as a web services authentication. Web services authentication. Okay. So one thing, how can we try to generate this token? JSON web token, JWT. JWT. One more time. Token can be created. See, if it will never create any memory at server side. For a client authentication, one unique number is generated called as a token. One unique number is generated called token. Token can be created using a secret key, and even generated token can be read using a secret key. This generated token is sent to the client machine using a response. Client has to send a token using request for second request onwards. Token is valid only for a period of time. Token is a valid for only period of time. Right. So up to here is fine. And what is the limitation? Token must be validated on every request. If token is shared with others, then they can access client data services. That's the major issue. And what is JSON? Sorry, JWT. JSON Web Token is an open source API. It supports generating a token based on client details and secret key. Okay, Shiva, let's try to go for to design this application, guys. First steps, what are the steps you should follow, guys? User and client register process, utility class, token. So if you say like this, we'll not understand. Let me try to go for step-by-step process. Guys, one thing. Let me open JWT website. JSON web token. JSON web token. See here, please understand. Right. See, look at now. What is this one? Encryption format, guys. JSON web token is a like encryption format. It's a token, sir. It's an encryption format. What exactly this token, sir? This token is divided like in three parts. Entire this token will be divided in three parts. See here, the dot symbol is there, right? Wherever see the dot symbol is one part. Up to here is one part. I'll talk, sir, one way. You'll understand. This is second part, right? This is the third part. So what is this token? JWT will be classified three parts. Okay. Then first one is header part, header. Second one is payload. Third one is signature. One more time. JWT classified three parts. One is header, payload, signature. Header, payload, signature. Header, payload, signature. Is it clear? Header, payload, signature. Good. In header part, algorithm name. What is that? In header part, algorithm name. In header part, we're having algorithm name and what type it is. So HS256, AESS. So different types of algorithms will be there, guys. Which algorithm you're trying to use, you can try to specify the algorithm type here. HS256 is our algorithm, and type JWT. So header pod is representing the token type, what type of token it is. And next one, what about next one, sir? Algorithm. So what is the payload, Shiva? Payload is nothing but issuer name of the issuer, sir. Who is providing the name, issuer, the subject, this information it will be containing. Good. Next. And signature. What is the signature, guys? See, sir, one thing. Then signature is representing like encoding encryption format of header and encryption format of payload contains along with the secret key, the signature will be there, guys. The signature key will be there. See now, base 64 URL encode header part. Look at now, base 64 URL encode header part. Base 64 URL encode payload, right? Along with the secret key, 256-bit secret key. Your 256-bit secret key. Okay. So I think is it clear, sir, please? Everyone? JWT token will be classified three types. One is header, payload, signature. Only the token will be there like this. Is it clear, please? Right. Now, what exactly header is containing? Header is containing, sir, algorithm type, algorithm name, and type of the JWT. Second one is payload. What is the payload? The issuer date, who is issuing, the name, and the information. Signature, encoding format of header, and payload, and secret key. This information, it will be there, guys. Very good, Shiva. Let's try to clearly mention, guys, this website. See now, what is JSON Web Token? JSON Web Token is an open standard. It defines a compact and self-contained. Okay, fine, leave it. So generally JSON. Why the JSON Web Token? JSON Web Tokens are useful authorization purpose and information exchange purpose. Authorization purpose and information exchange purpose. Just now I told you very clearly, one website to another website, one server to another server. Sir, every day to day, we are trying doing, sir. We are trying to doing different payments, right? So exchanging, then what will happen? The token will be generated. That even it is available. So OTP, sir, once you pay the money, then maybe if you are thinking and then your credit card will be expired. Why? Because 15 seconds or 20 seconds, so generally we try to specify that. After that, it will be expired. The token will be expired. Authorization and information. So these are use cases are useful. So the most common scenario for using JWT, once the user is logged in, look at now, once user is logged in, each subsequent request will include the JWT, allow user to access services and like this. Information exchange. Right. What is the JSON Web Token structure? I told you very clearly. The JSON Web Token consists of three parts. What are three parts separated by dots? The JSON Web Token consists of three parts separated by dots, like which are header, payload, signature, like this. A JWT typically it looks like this. Got it? What is header part? Sir, algorithm and type. What is the payload? So generally payload, it contains, look at now please. The second part of token is the payload. It contains the claims. Claims are, what are the claims? It means that statements about an entity, typically the user information, guys, and additional information. There are three types of claims: registered, public, and private claims. Registered, public, and private claims. What are the registered claims? These are a set of predefined claims which are not mandatory but recommended to provide a set of useful interoperable claims. Some of them issuer, expiration time. I told you 15 minutes or 20 minutes, right? What time you require to expire? Expiration time and subject and audience and others. This information will be maintained by payload, registered claims. What is exactly registered claims it containing? Is registered claims are predefined claims, interoperable claims. Some of them are issuer, expiration time, subject. This information will be there. Now, public claims. This can be defined and will be those using JWTs, but to avoid collisions, they should be defined registry defined URL contain private claims. Right. So mainly generally we try to use the registry claims, sir. Example is subject name admin. True or false like this. So the payload is then base 64 URL encoded in the form of second part of JSON web token. Signature. What is signature, guys? Observe that. See, base 64 URL encoding header format, payload, and secret key. This is the signature is used to verify the message was not changed along with the way and in the case of token like this. So I think is it clear, sir? JWT has a header, payload, encoded. This information and along with the signed with the secret key. This is the information what exactly it's containing your information. So nothing is there, sir. See, how do JSON web tokens works? In authentication, when the user successful logs, when the user is successfully login, in using their credentials, a JSON web token will be returned. Username and password, then successfully logged in, then JSON web token will be returned. See, tokens or credentials, care must be taken to prevent security issues. What is barrier? Barrier. See now, in the authorization header, using the barrier schema, the content of the header should look like this following. This is the way barrier and token authorization time. So everything is given very clearly, sir. Okay, this is the way. Just you can try to. This is called JWT. What is JWT? JSON Web Token. One server to one server. If you want to make a communication, we try to use JWT. What is the JWT? Stateless mechanism, guys. Stateless. The token will be generated. The token is stateless. It's not a stateful. It means that it will be available sometime, and after that, the token will be expired if you're not used below within the time. Is it clear, sir, please? Yes. Shiva, can you design one application, Shiva? Yeah. New. Just a simple application I'll design because so many steps, the simple application only. Yes, I'll use Hello World. Look at now, just hello after Hello World application only how many classes is required. Observe, friends. I'll do the step by step. Web, Spring Security, no doubt. Just Hello World is required. Even Lombok also not required. Okay, Dev Tools, government. Yeah, that's enough. If we require anything, we try to add it. Okay. Just after Hello World application, right? Don't think that Hello World application, sir. This Hello World application only how many classes are required. If I write a big application and if I explain, then nothing will I understand, sir. Just let me write welcome page and we'll write first we'll focus only the security part. Right. Wait, it's creating. Okay. Now, as well, guys, please focus. Then right click on this, a new plus the rest. So just I'm writing what? Hello REST controller. Right. Hello REST controller. Here, just I want to write the very simple, sir. Please understand. Right. Here I'm using as well. Please focus, sir, step by step. REST controller. Okay. Now just I want to write here. I don't want to write anything, guys. Just I want to write hello world application. Okay. Public string the first page. Right. Return welcome boss. It is a security focus while working. It's not easy, sir. Right. Everything is easy, sir. Everything you can do it. The tricky part is only this one. Request mapping. Okay. Request mapping. Just you can try to say whatever you wanted. Okay, done. Sir, now tell me, can you try to run this application, guys? 100% you can run the application. Yes or no? Right. Done. So if I run the application, it will work or not, guys? Tell me, please. Let me run this. Welcome on. What is the need? Hello. But it's asking like this, why we given a security? Right, sir? Is it clear? See, to access Hello World application, just observe that, sir. Welcome boss. It is secure focus while working. But my intention is, this is fine, Shiva. But my intent, what our intention, whenever client sends a request, whenever you're trying to try to access this one, the username password should be authenticated first. To access, guys, please listen on point. To access hello application, hello world application, username password should be exist. Once the username and password exist, JWT token should be generated. And once along with username and password JWT token, I want to access this message. అర్థమైందా ఇప్పుడు కూడా అదే జరిగిందండి మీకు గమనిస్తే టోకెన్ is not generated, but to access this hello, what happened, guys? Please tell me. ఇది యాక్సెస్ చేయడానికి ఏం జరిగింది? If you want to access this one, what happened till now? Just now. Immediately, because you applied security, right? Now it opens one login page. Once username and predefined password, once you specify, once you authenticated, then only what happened, guys? Then only we can access hello. Is it clear or not? Please, guys, this point is clear. Good, but I told you very clearly. I want it to work with a JWT, stateless authentication. Okay. Now let's try to move forward. One thing, sir, username and password authenticated or not, I want to check that first step. My first step is username and password authenticated or not. Generally, what we do, guys, please, I want to write public response entity, right? The question mark symbol, then create authentication token. Like this, just I'm writing. Generally, what we do that. Right. So generally what we do then, So username and password, sir, right? Come on, guys. What is username and password? Right. String, right? String, username. Next, string, password. We'll try to specify like this. Agree with me, guys? But now username and password exist అయితేనే కదా నేను యాక్సెస్ చేసుకోవాలి. So what I can do that at the rate of right like this. But interesting thing is generally we never specify username and password like this. Typically spell చేయకూడదు రాయకూడదు. ఎలా రాయాలి? Let's try to take one Java class. Let's try to have one Java class. In that class, you can try to specify your user first specify username and password. Use that class name, sir. Okay. Then I can say I'm giving name is called authentication request because I'm working with the security, right? Now class name. I can say here models. Authentication request. Then here you can specify private username password like this. Can I use at the rate of data? Okay, fine. So let me generate citizen guesser. I don't want to waste the time. I click on this. Generate getters and setters. Guys, is it clear? Then. So what I can do that now? Authentication request, can I specify or not, guys? Please. Step by step చేస్తున్నానండి కొద్ది టైం పడుతుంది ఎందుకంటే అట్లీస్ట్ 6 to 7 జావా క్లాస్ రాయాలి చిన్నదానికి హెల్లో వరల్డ్ అప్లికేషన్ కి యాక్సెస్ చేయడానికి మనకి 7 to 8 జావా క్లాసులు రాయాలి మీరు స్టెప్ బై స్టెప్ అర్థం చేసుకుని ట్రై చేయండి రైట్ నా సారీ okay then what I'm doing is now request. So what annotation we try to specify, guys? Anyone? Can you guess it, please? Guys, please, anyone? Request body. Is it clear, please? Guys, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So, ఇక్కడ వరకు బాగుంది. So use what I did like this. Very good. Now, so in request mapping here, I'm trying to spell. Okay, server stop just done because it's not required because I'll try to run this one later, right? Then close and learn. Right. Guys, please focus at the rate of request mapping or post mapping. You can try to use anything is fine. Then value, then authenticate. Comma method. Request method dot post. So just assume that we are using post. If already post mapping, you can use that, no issues. So immediately once we send username and password, manaki username password పంపిస్తున్నాం. Right, understand? Username and password once you send, then the information will be stored in the here, right? Authentication request storage the sure kadamma. Right, guys? This is what you have to do that. Next. What I can do the next step? Right. So here I want to authenticate that. I want to check that. I want to check the data is authenticated or not. The data is authenticated or not. If the username and password is not exist, then I want to give incorrect username and password you provided. This message I want to provide. This message I want to provide. Is it clear? For this, what I can do that now. Let me try to go for authenticate అనే మెథడ్ ఉందా లేదో చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి. Okay. For this, Where I can try to use this method, where exactly this method is available? Authentication manager. Authentication manager. Please understand, guys. Okay. Where exactly this method is available, sir? Authentication manager. Let me write it. Guys, are you understanding what I'm trying to say to you?
Yes, sir.
Authentication manager. So it's a predefined class, sir. Right. It's a predefined class. It's a predefined class given by Spring Framework. Authentication manager. Then what I can do then at the rate of auto white. Done, guys. Is it clear, everyone? Authentication manager. That's it. Okay. Shiva is fine. Authentication manager. Okay. Then having one predefined method. What is the method? Authenticate. Look at, guys. Authenticate. Right? Authenticate. Authenticate is the one predefined method is available. So what the parameter we are having? Observe, guys. Authentication. What is this? Authentication. So what I can do this in this case, authentication, what way I can try to work it? So it should be authenticated or not, guys? Guys, are you understanding?
Yes,
Authentication
sir.
manager, authenticate method రాశారమ్మా. రాసిన తర్వాత see authenticate the passed authentication object returning with authentication object including granted authorities if successful, otherwise null. So ఎలా చేస్తాం అది? How can we do this process? Are you clearing? Are you understanding this point, sir, please? Yeah. శివ అర్థమవుతుంది కానీ ఎక్కడ బౌన్స్ అవుతుంది, రైట్? So for that, right. So in this case, what I can do that, Shiva, please focus, guys. The password authentication token. Username, authentication is the one interface is required, right? For this, there are start new authentication, sorry, new user name, password authentication token. So what is the token, username and password? You can try to send it. It's a predefined implementation class. The authentication is the interface. This is the predefined implementation class. It's not my own. It's a predefined implementation. Predefined class providing implementation. Then authentication request having your username and password. Then get username, comma. Get password. That's it. So this is the way we are trying to perform. Is it clear, sir, please? Here itself, we can try to write, then if a username and password is authenticated, fine. Otherwise, then it throws an exception. Incorrect username and password. Okay, let me try to use it. Right click on this, surrounded with, try and get. See, authentication exception. What type of exception may be generate? Authentication exception. And I can try to say in here, throw exception. You can write custom exception class, incorrect username or password, comma E. That's it. This is the way, just what I'm writing. That's it. Are you clear, please? Till now, understand, guys? అమ్మా ఇంతవరకు అర్థమైందా? Everyone. Guys, is it clear? Please.
Yes, sir.
కానీ you can ask one more question, guys, here. Sir, ఇక్కడ ఎందుకంటే already the people are predefined, madam. I'm not doing anything great here. See, this constraint can be safely used by any code. Create username for authentication token will return the false. Is authenticated? Yes. Now let me try to go for check the cursor. So in this case, I want to generate token, right? To generate a token, I want to check that. What I have to check that based on the username and the information is loading or not, I have to check that. For that, let's try to go for user details service.